We're so intelligent as children to understand the best way to be in our families that feels safest to us. It's for our own survival, and it is the best way to be at the time.
Welcome to Coffee Chats with Montessori Mama. In this podcast, we explore birth, learning, postpartum, parenting, and wellness through the universal lens of human development discovered by Dr. Maria Montessori. If you are interested in respectful and gentle parenting, curious about homeschooling with the Montessori approach, or consider implementing the Montessori method in a childcare setting, welcome. This is your space. Hello and welcome back to Morning Coffee with Montessori Mama. Today we are having a wonderful guest speaker, Lakshmi Om, who you will get to know if you will be a part of our trainings or a part of our community within the Open Door Montessori or postpartum doula community. She is our wellness studio coordinator. When I am conceiving the ideas about any transition and about any life changes that we go through, such as, of course, birth, pregnancy, and postpartum, and as a Montessori training, which can be a very transformative mind body event in the life of those who are taking on that journey, I feel that embodiment is very important and supportive systems such as Wellness Studio, I think is very, very important component to provide our students. So Lakshmi Om is our coordinator at the Wellness Studio, and she will be sharing a little bit about her background and how I feel she fits so well into the wellness part of Open Door Montessori and Montessori Mama community and other aspects of our ecosystem that we're creating for parents and teachers. So I just want to welcome Lakshmi Om to our conversation, to our morning coffee. Today we're in Boston, Massachusetts, and we are at Cafe Nero. How are you, Lakshmi?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me here again.
Absolutely. I love having you. And even though we come from different fields, as we were discovering earlier, I'm coming from educational field. You come, which you are an educator as well, but you come from wellness and yoga field. So we still find so many crossovers when we talk
Yeah.
about Montessori, which is beautiful. So I want to share a little bit about the Wellness Studio. I think this is going to be something we've set out just a couple of weeks ago. I feel like we came to a framework that's going to work, that's easy with no overwhelm for educators and busy parents. And this is going to be a format where every Thursday, educators, students of Open Door Montessori, daycare teachers, Montessori teachers, parents will be receiving an email from Lakshmi, and where she will be sharing 3 to 5 different somatic or movement exercises for you all to go through before you go and start your day. So it's probably going to arrive in your email first thing in the morning. And these exercises will be between 20 to 30 minutes. And then Lakshmi also will be conducting regular workshops to ground it even more, to support the community. And also within the Open Door Montessori, as a wellness coordinator, Lakshmi is available for students, for small group processing, for individual sessions, to go deeper and to guide every adult learner through this transformative, very probably emotional life transition, such as going into parenting or becoming a Montessori educator. So, Lakshmi, I know this is something that I shared with you, and I know that this is my intention for the Wellness Studio to be. But as you hear that, I would love to hear what is your vision for the studio, and how do you feel like the Wellness Studio can complement your own practice and also complement the learning journey of our students?
Absolutely. Well, I've been working with the body for over 25 years. And then before that, I was a dancer. So I've really been all about the body my whole career.
Mhm.
And I always hear like people want to feel better, but they don't know how. And the exercises I'm offering are come from my years of experience and how to make small but profound shifts within ourselves that ripple out into our physical health, our mental health, our connection to ourselves, spirituality, if that's important, and then into our relationships in our life, and can really change not only our behavior, but the tone of our thoughts and the choices we make so that we move in a direction that we feel better about. Ultimately, my goal whenever I work with anyone is for them to be moving in the direction where they feel most like themselves, most at home within themselves. And it could be because I have so many different things to pull from in so many different areas because I've done it for so long and I love to keep learning.
That's where we're very, very similar. I
Yeah.
feel a kindred spirit.
Yeah, exactly. I've already got my trainings planned for next year and,
I
just
can
going to keep
totally believe
going.
that.
But really looking at how to befriend our own system and to understand how it really works. There's a large piece of information is power. And if you understand how things really work, then not only can you have more compassion for yourself about why something's happening, why you feel something, why you struggle with something else, that compassion can then create space for you to feel the possibility to make some change or to come more in touch with yourself so that you feel better. So, we'll be doing exercises from somatic experiencing, um, from dare attachment therapy, from I am a yoga therapist, internationally certified yoga therapist. So we'll be doing yoga therapy. We'll be doing polyvagal theory exercises for self regulation. We might be just doing some movement to just get in your body and move how it feels good to you, like we used to do when we were kids, but we don't always do as adults.
Absolutely.
So, and maybe even I can bring in a little bit because I've been a body worker for 25 years, a little bit about, how our body works and how our muscles work and how we carry ourselves in our bodies and how that influences every aspect of ourselves.
That's great. And I think this is very important as a preparation for them. Talking about the embodiment and wellness studio, I think information is very powerful and that's where we start. But doing the work, the inner work and then embodiment exercises is going to be the majority of the supported systems that we can create for our adult learners in Montessori training or postpartum or birth workers or parents. So with the wellness studio format, it will be emails and it will be 60 to 90 minutes workshops where the students come and experience the regulation of their nervous system, understanding how polyvagal theory works so that they apply it to themselves. And then they can actually understand better even each other. Say co-teachers are working together, they might not have the best of relationship, but with understanding, compassion, and also doing your own work and expanding the capacity and bandwidth to probably handle stressful situations differently, not taking things personally. That's a big, big, big part of it. That, and then maybe the relationships and atmosphere in the classroom can, or in the home, becomes better, and that's what young children absorb from 0 to 6, according to Montessori. The brain of the child is an absorbent mind, which I don't say actually brain, it's a mind. And we know that mind is not just brain. Mind is the whole body mind connection. Because children, especially 0 to 6, they learn on the senses level through body, through movement. That's how they learn and that's how they develop. So when we have that understanding for ourselves, we will have that understanding of young children. But also, I love that then the environment that they absorb becomes a better environment, more regulated, more less hopefully filled with power struggle or stress, which can be when we first become parents or when we come into a classroom of, say, 9 toddlers or 20 preschoolers. It can be tense.
Well, and the more you understand yourself and your own reactions and the inherent needs of all beings, that is part of embodiment. It isn't just, oh, I can feel my toes, oh, I can feel my legs. It's an understanding of your being and the essence of beingness. And all beings want to be seen and understood and felt and respected and connected to
Mhm.
on a deep level. Like we all have that innate need. And it's when we don't have the capacity for that, where our nervous system isn't in a state where we can do that, that we start to have misunderstandings or friction or projections or feel
Mhm.
sensitive and things like that. So what we're really looking at is these are not, you know, hour-long meditations and things like that, because we're working directly into the nervous system.
Mhm.
So these shifts actually happen very quickly.
Yes.
And the rest is just understanding around it, letting it integrate,
Mhm.
feeling into its effect on your system. So the exercise itself may only be 20 to 30 seconds,
Mhm.
but then there's just a lot of information that we can learn about, that we can see and understand. And also that it's done in such a gentle way. A lot of people, when they come to see me, are a little nervous. They're like, I don't want it to hurt. I don't want to, I'm scared. I don't want to, face all of my dark stuff. And it's not that at all. It's
Mhm.
about how to gently land in the body and to work with things in tiny little bits that are completely manageable,
Mhm.
right? Even I have some clients that are scared about being in their body,
Mhm.
understanding that the things that we generally um, struggle with now as adults were our protective behaviors as children.
Mhm.
So we were really intelligent as children to develop these protective behaviors. And now as an adult, we're recognizing, like, oh, okay, well, this is something that's not serving me, but I don't know what to do about it. And that's what these things really are. Whether it's a specific posture we've assumed, whether it's a particular way we hold tension in our stomach, or a
Mhm.
particular way that we respond in communication. So it's these exercises are very simple, or just, our overall tone in our nervous system. If, we ask, this is, you all are going to hear this question so many times, but like, how fast are you going?
Mhm.
Is your normal speed between 70 and 100? And when you're at that speed, do you feel really anxious? And so that has been survival for you, and it was developed a long time ago, usually. So we learn how to slowly turn our dial down so our overall tone is more in that nice, comfy middle range when you're just moving about town. And that's where you feel grounded and secure, and you can be in a relational field with someone and not feel threatened.
I love that you work with what's presented itself at the
Yes.
level and bandwidth they can work and not be in a defense or feel like they are threatened and go into those mechanisms as flight, fight, or
Mhm.
dissociate, right? So I think that this is the very gentle way of embodying yourself and befriending nervous system. And I love that, especially when we still have full time jobs, when we still have children at home to take care of. This is something we want to make sure we go through and we better our well being without collapsing or without feeling completely overwhelmed.
Absolutely. Because when what I call roto rooter, when we like dig in,
Aha.
that is too far, too fast, too much.
Hmm.
And that's when we collapse.
Exactly.
So the things that I present will be in very small little bits. Just notice the tiny shift here so that
Hmm.
we don't activate our bigger protective responses like shutdown or
Hmm.
like butterfly. So it's not overwhelming. Everything is really gentle. And the most important piece, which I think goes along with Montessori philosophy, is that we approach it with curiosity.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Perspective is important. Yeah.
yeah, instead of judgment or force, everything is just curiosity. Like if you imagine when a puppy kind of tilts its head, it hears a new
Hmm.
sound, or like, huh, what's that? How we try to approach landing in our body. Like, oh, I have this sensation in my shoulder. Notice its qualities. If it was a color, what color would it be? If it was a shape, what shape would it be? Does it have edges? Does it have movement? Can it spread? Can it move out your fingers? How do you feel towards it? Right? How does it feel towards you? And we sort of develop this relationship with our body because, many of us have learned to be so judgmental
Mhm.
and harsh with ourselves. And as much as we don't want it to, that can leak out into relationships with others.
Mhm.
So much about embodiment is doing it gently and with curiosity and understanding. Now, this is where the information side comes in. Understanding the neurobiology of of why we are the way we are.
Mhm.
It's like, oh, well, this is why. Now
Mhm.
that I understand it, I can have compassion for myself about it
Absolutely, yeah.
because we're so intelligent as children. We're so intelligent as children to understand the best way to be in our families that feels safest to us.
Mhm.
And that may involve different patterns. And that's how our attachment style develops, right?
Mhm.
But it's for our own survival, and it is the best way to be at the time. And then as we grow into adult learners, we can see, oh, I think I need to go back and fill in some pieces that might have been missing,
Mhm.
you know? Everybody has a few
Yeah.
things that we can get to, and we can just put those
Absolutely.
puzzle pieces in so we feel more whole. We feel more comfortable being in our body because it's
Yeah.
the storehouse of our experiences.
Yeah. And in my own personal journey so far, I feel like most of this is unconscious. So even bringing it to our awareness is a huge
Yes.
step. And then having the right attitude of curiosity,
Mhm.
compassion, and even joy that, okay, now I know what I'm working with is very, very important instead of becoming bitter or angry. Oh my gosh,
Right.
I wasted so many years on feeling this way. And I feel like for me right now, there were some things in stories in my life for the last 10 years, I think, with relationships and in a business that I built as protective mechanisms without me knowing that. And now that
Mhm.
I'm unraveling it and I'm going through my own personal healing journey, which I feel this is the reason I wanted this to become a part of everybody else's journey because I feel this was very powerful for me as I am becoming more grounded in who I am. I'm finding out that I was hidden, and I don't know if I was hidden because I chose to be hidden for so many years or because
Mhm.
I was put in a back room because of certain systems in our family or in a business and realizing that sometimes it still makes me angry, but knowing that, yes, that was something that happened, just accept it with gratitude to release it and then move forward and recognize the patterns when they do come up as defense or they do come up as something that I need to by default move towards because I don't feel safe or I don't feel appreciated. It's not really a threat or life surviving to me. I feel like sometimes it's just very basic, also human needs, such as belonging,
Yeah.
such as feeling enjoyment, feeling accepted, feeling appreciated. And
Mhm.
I think so much so that we want to expand that capacity also to receive and to
Mhm.
give when we are in the community. And that's why I'm so excited that you will be coming, hopefully, to our retreats in Boston and Colorado Springs and
Yeah.
hopefully in Houston, maybe overseas. I
Mhm.
think this is being in the presence and being together is just very, very powerful. And I also believe that when we have these long-term relationships, which within the Open Door Montessori, the training will be 2 years plus 1 year of apprenticeship. And wellness studio is something that's going to be available to students, to parents, to birth workers, to whoever decides to join, because it really crossovers all these disciplines with embodiment, well-being, and transformation. I feel like this long-term community is something that I want to nurture and I want to have resources such as yourself to
Mhm.
be able to ask it to answer the questions, to create certain workshops and certain sessions in person and online that supports this journey for inner development. And I think uncovering that blueprint as we know from
Yeah.
craniosacral, right? That never is
Mhm.
damaged, that's never is bad, it's always good. It's always there. It
Yeah.
always orients towards health and well-being. So how do we work with imprints so we can get to blueprint together as collective as well?
And the beautiful thing about what you said is that these things are unconscious, and
Mhm.
we can judge ourselves so harshly for those. And or even others, sometimes we're human, like,
Mhm. Absolutely.
especially if it's uncomfortable for us in our own, sort of attachment patterns. So when we start to have awareness, because the other piece of embodiment is awareness. It's like, oh, because that's the consequence of curiosity. If you're curious, you're increasing your awareness and changing your relationship to yourself. Then you can start to see what we call implicit memories. These
Mhm.
memories that I call them undercurrents. In
Mhm.
the ocean, you've got your waves, but there can be a current underneath. So these undercurrents that came from our early time periods, maybe even before we had language, that are stored in the mid and back part of the brain where we respond from emotion.
Mhm.
Our trauma memories are stored there. And that's where we react. It's a fast thing.
Mhm.
Explicit memory is stuff, that is either newer or sort of, you know, everyday sort of things, and when we bring our implicit memory into our explicit memory, there's this beautiful space where it can be changed, not even just accepted,
Mhm.
like because of neuroplasticity, which is the flexibility of our brain and our neural system, we can go back in and do repair work. And that's how I work with people, whether they're
Mhm.
on my table or we're doing yoga, we're doing somatic experiencing, or dare attachment therapy. We go back and we do repair. How
Mhm.
would you like for it to have been?
Yeah.
Let's change the charge around the story. And then it settles back down into our long term memory
Mhm.
in a very different state than it was originally.
Mhm.
That's how it works.
Powerful.
From deep in the brain into our conscious awareness where we have discrimination and understanding, and then we do a repair, and sometimes the repair is simply acknowledgement.
Mhm.
I see how hard I worked as a kid,
Mhm.
and that young part of me really needs acknowledgement, and then that's all that's needed. Sometimes
Exactly.
it's that easy.
It is. I love it. It's
Yeah,
almost like
yeah.
quantum leaps. It
Hmm.
doesn't require a lot of effort. It might not
Yeah.
require a lot of time. It can be
Nope.
quantum, and it all depends on our openness, on our
Hmm.
curiosity level, as you're saying.
Yeah.
I love that within the community, and that's the biggest piece, right? We heal in the presence of each other,
Yeah.
and the body work is something that I really believe as well. Is that
Hmm.
that body work is resourcing our states and our perceptions or whatever with more energy to
Yeah.
handle and to heal.
Yeah.
And I think something that I never even thought about it, but things like even reading a lot can drain our energy for healing.
Hmm.
I think I read a lot. I have read a ton, and I did have some adrenal fatigue after having 4 children and parenting and expanding businesses. I've came to reality that I ended up having adrenal fatigue, and in the meantime, I was reading a lot. And I had an Ayurvedic doctor who said, "Zoe, you just need to stop reading. You need to have energy available
Hmm.
in your body for healing." And
Yeah.
then now, as a being a postpartum doula and postpartum body worker, I do believe that we actually also give each other and resource each other with energy to promote that healing.
It's really interesting. It's so easy on this journey to want to be so hungry for information that
Mhm.
you're just taking it in and taking it in and taking it in. And in somatic work, the integration, the time of rest is
Mhm.
actually just as important as the shifts, as the learning,
Mhm.
because our system needs time to integrate what just happened, or it doesn't really land. It's
Mhm.
like we see the boat coming and we look at it and then it just passes us by.
Yeah, it's like
So
Shavasana at the end of yoga class.
right, exactly. It is Shavasana at the end of
Very
yoga class.
important.
That we need that time. And when I work privately with someone, or when I'm teaching, we always take that time. Like let it I talk about taking a snow globe and you shake it up. Okay, so we just made some shifts and things are moving and we've got this energy moving in your body. Okay, let's just pause. It's the power of the pause. Let's just pause and watch it settle. All of these little snowflakes inside that snow globe are settling and coming into a new place with new information and awareness. And that continues to happen after a session or after a class. But we really want to give it as much time and awareness as we can. Also, so it's not jarring to the parts of us that may have a little fear around change.
I love it. I am so excited to have this wellness studio available to our adult learners, to our instructors as well. I feel like this is the whole ecosystem being infused with understanding, with the practice, and your support would be just such an amazing, amazing blessing. And so we will be launching Wellness Studio with our first cohort soon. And Open Door Montessori is a Montessori teacher and parent training that's available online. It's a hybrid model and in-person retreats. We will be sharing more about how to get more information. The training will be launching in January 2025. And Lakshmi Om, if you choose to join us, will be your guide through your well-being in the wellness studio and through your being in your inbox and also workshops and retreats. Well, thank you so much, Lakshmi. It was a joy to being with you today and share a little bit of our vision and our co-creation of this wellness studio. And we will be getting together again soon and continue our conversations about wellness, somatics, embodiment, and all the good stuff that we are here to create. Thank you so much. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to today's episode. You can find Coffee Chats with Montessori Mama page on Facebook and share your insights from today's conversation, your questions, and be in a community with like-minded people. You can also follow me on Instagram, montessori.mama, and see all of the announcements for events, upcoming workshops, and courses that are in collaboration with Open Door Montessori. Until next time.